Why deploy mobile anti-air units when you can just have mobile T3 SACUs? Just build your own stationary T3 and it's, quote, mobile. I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Noxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting up for Team 1 up here in the Northwest, ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. And with 12 players to introduce, I will slow this game down to -3. There enough time for introductions and early gameplay coverage. Starting off with the northeasternmost player on Team 1, it is Legendlord going first. Land as a UEF, he is in Light Oak Tan as a 1500. To his west, the man responsible for the colorization of the names on the scoreboard for his team, it is Nuke Dragoon in Ruby Red. He's going first land as an Aeon as a 1200 as well. To the south in Royal Blue, we have the player of Kindred 5129 going first land as a Cybern. He is a 1600, tied for the highest ranked player overall on his team. And rounding out the frontline lineup for Team 1, it is Love Me Some Rice, not doing any sort of building as of yet. He is a 1600, tied with his teammate of Kindred for highest ranked in the game and on his team. And again, he is a UEF in glow-in-the-dark green. To his north in Tropical Ocean Blue, we have Frost Monster going first there as a Seraphim. He is an 1100 rating. And last but not least, in Imperial Gray here to the northeast is Zero Rue going first line as a Cybern. He is a 1300. And again, he's an Imperial Gray. And Let Me Summarize says, they probably forgot to start his T1 factory again. For Team 1's lineup, they have all of the races represented with a dual major in Cybern and UBF Tech. So 1 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, 2 Cyberns, and 2 UBF. Didn't realize game started. I'm a minute late. Oh, shouldn't be that much of an issue, but it might be. So we'll see if that does track here for his team. If that little bit of a slip up will make all of the difference. I don't think so, but we'll just have to watch and see. To the southwest here for Team 2's first player to introduce is Kaiser Wilhelm, the first of his name. Going first line, he is in orange, the color orange, as a 1500. He's one of 3 players tied for the highest rank on his team at that rating of 1500. To his east is Colloquial Klaus going first line, secondary as a Cybern. He is in Snow White, and he is a 1300. To his north in lightish red pink, we have Master Mandel going first land as an Aeon. He is a 1500. And right next door to him, we have in Chevy Crimson Maximus Triple X. He's going to land all day here as a Cybern. He is the last 1500 to be introduced here for Team 2. To his south in Stitch Blue, we have General Hat Helm going first land as another Aeon here for his team. And he is an 1100. And to round out Team 2's lineup is the UEF player of Wackle Contact going first land. He is in Batman Gray at a 1400 rating. So for Team 2 side of the things, they have 2 Aeon, 2 Cybern, and 2 UEF, which means Team 2 does not have access to Seraphim technology. And let's go ahead and take a look at the reclaim here. For 12 players on the map, I expect to see a decent amount of reclaim, probably about 1500 per player. And actually, no, that's a lot more than 1500 per player. That is over 3,000, getting up there close to 3.5K per player. That's a ton of mass, and a lot of it does reside around these little plateau / ridge areas of the map. There's going to be a lot of fighting over that mass, and like I said, 42,000 mass is a ton of mass to scoop up in general and for each player. And in terms of mass point layouts, we have a Trimax position here, one up here on this upper plateau right next door to Master Mandel, and then another Trimax position here in the northeast. So at least 3 Trimax positions here for both teams to grab at a minimum. And there's kind of a spattering of not T1, but just one-off mixes kind of all around. So I do expect to see a decent amount of fighting in this kind of plus sign X environment where we have multiple avenues of attack, even multiple avenues of attack here on this eastern and southwestern side as well. So it'll be a lot of fighting back and forth. Transports should be built very quickly to go for those mexes on the plateaus and for the corners as well. So let's see how our players get on after I select somebody to get rid of my little glitch on the screen. There it goes. And speed this game out back to 0. We're seeing a lot of scouts outbound here from Team 1's Nuke Dragoon on its way to at least somewhat towards the middle of the map. I wouldn't be surprised to see some diverted to the east over here to this Giant Mechs position. Then maybe even send one of them down here just to see what's going on in that regard. We do see a nice couple of scouts outbound from Team 2's Master Mandel. Very similar situation, except a lot less in emphasis for that intel gathering operations. We do see Team 2's comms leaving their main bases. At least, actually all of them have left their main bases, especially the rear guard. Actually, specifically, General Handhelm essentially just built probably a facility and a couple of mexes and said, nah, it's good enough. I have a while to walk, so he's just going to leave his engineers to do his work for him. And for Team 1's side of the map, we do see Legend Lord leaving his base, as well as Lend Me Some Rice and Kinder. But it doesn't look like either of the rearguard players here for Team 1 have left, or Noob Dragoon himself. We might see that here pretty soon. No, that's his air factory, so no. So Team 2 will have the advantage in the early game with the all 6 comms moving to, again, that central line. But that transport is outbound here from Team 1 Zero Roo, trying to go for those drops on that couple of reclaim positions, as well as going for those I keep saying T1 Mexes, but those are Mex positions. No all engineers on board. One engineer will drop to start scooping up reclaim. There is an AA gun, nice little pistol, trying to shoot at that transport. We'll drop it into the yellow, but another engineer will drop. Team 2 obviously knows about this and will definitely put a stop to it. And that transport will drop once again for this group of mass. And then we'll go over here to either assist or quote-unquote steal mass from his teammate of Legend Lord. Well, I say quote-unquote because it isn't really stealing if it isn't really yours. Well, it's specifically yours. That I will say that. Says Frost Monster. I don't know what he's getting at, but we'll see what he is dying about. We do see Team 1's Legend Lore pushing forward on this eastern side. And he's trying to, again, grab this Trimax position away from his opponent of Team 2's Maximus Triple X. There are already a couple of tanks nearby, but that Team 1 PD will finish off, which means this position will be secured, at least for the time being. I don't see him having that position for long, but at least denying it from your opponent is better than letting them have it. So I do like Legend Lore being a little bit aggressive in that regard. We can see a very similar situation happening in for Team 2, where Kaiser Wilhelm is now going to be facing off against Lend Me Some Rice. But Lend Me Some Rice is already down here. And so to be a little bit of a hill to climb here for Kaiser Wilhelm, the first of his name, to knock out his opponent. But I do hear a couple of guns firing at one another somewhere. We do see speed coming on the way here for Team 2's Master Mandela. Again, would love to see the range first, especially if he can just post up on top of this little cliffside and shoot down on those Mantis. But speed is definitely important as well here in this game. But we do see Team 1's Legend Lord continuing to push forward against a couple of units that have just been lining up to interact with that comm and get his autograph. He doesn't want any autographs today. And it does look like he'll go for that nice little bit of reclaim of that 75 mass rock. We do see Team 2's Kaiser Wilhelm pushing back Lend Me Some Rice. Lend Me Some Rice is just throwing some plasma at his UEF cousin turned traitor, at least in his eyes. And it's just a lot of nasty little letters being thrown at one another here between both of these players. We do see gun speed and range going down here for Kinder in the middle. Now range now started here for Master Mandel. And Team 2 has 4 of their 6 comms in this southwestern section of the map. And Team 2, I mean, I feel like Legend Lord getting a huge amount of map control, just not necessarily for free. Not really with a lot of issues, to be honest with you. We do see Maximus facing off against a couple of Aurora. He does have some Mantis in to assist him here pretty soon, but he'll get some nice veterancy. This isn't anything realistically to worry about. It's mainly about some veterancy for himself, and of course making sure he secures that Trimax away from his opponent of Team 1's Noob Dragoon. Noob Dragoon doesn't like that. He doesn't really have a say in the matter. And Frost Monster is on an upgrade. I don't know what it is because it isn't telling me what it is. Or maybe he's just assisting. Oh, he's just assisting. Never mind. Looks like he was on his own upgraded gun. Damage and range going down on the way here for Love Me Some Rice. And now advanced range being built for Master Mandel. Aeon Sniper Commander is on the cards. And unfortunately, he put himself in a little bit of a not great situation to engage those enemy units. We do see some Snow White units outbound from Colloquial Klaus to be able to assist in that protection of that commander. T2 on the way here for the UEF commander of Legend Lore. He's just going to sit here and just build up a nice little fire base. Team 2 probably needs to divert at least some resources to this, allowing him to build up this much. It allows him to easily just go on this eastern edge and just keep going down. You can see there are no units protecting this avenue of attack, and I think Legend Lord knows that. There is a transport outbound to see what's going on. Let's have a couple of those strikers on board, it looks like. Yep, those are strikers. Would I like to see maybe a Lobo mixed in there to go after some of those facilities or those T2 mexes, but again, it's better than nothing. It does look like Love Me Some Rice has now finished his gun upgrade and actually going to drop right on top of those engineers. This is a huge grab here by Legend Lore if he's able to pull it off. Take out the engineers first. Try to slow down that eco game. But there are a couple of Mantis that have been constantly struding out here by Team 2's Maximus. And those strikers will do some damage. They'll take out, I think, one T1 Mex, maybe. But, again, would have loved to see a Lobo or two in that group just to deal some damage to those structures. Well, I think that's about it. And the attack has commenced here from Legend Lore, but all of the units here from Maximus have now diverted to intercept those units, and now it's really not going to go anywhere. But in the southwest, we see a nice little engagement between Kinder and Colloquial Klaus. We even see some engagements between the columns of Kaiser and Love Me Some Rice. Love Me Some Rice, again, has that gun upgrade. Will force Kaiser Wilhelm, the first of his name, back. And maybe we'll see Frost Monster go for his own upgrade. Advanced range almost done, and damage and range just finished off here for Wackel. Be able to, again, assist his teammates in forcing back Team 1. Team 2 really wants this upper plateau section. They have the mass points on the other side of the map. And Team 2's Maximus, again, wants that plateau, deny that mass for his opponent so he can ratchet up his own eco and, again, push back Team 2 even more. We do see the column of General Hellhound coming in to intercept and assist his teammate of Maximus on this eastern side. I do love that. However, kind of leaves a huge void in the middle of the map here for Team 1 to exploit, and honestly, neither team really even using the middle of the map for that matter. We do see a couple of units posting up to go after Maximus, but he does have gun, and we're going for stealth here pretty soon. We do see speed and range going down here for Colloquial Chaos, and speed and range going down here for Frost Monster. Team 1's Love Me Some Rice has now pushed back Kaiser and pushed him into the yellow as well. We do see a little facility that has been built up here from Team 1's Frost Monster. It does have a T1 PD nearby, but I don't think it's going to last very long. Those upgrades have finished off here for a couple players on Team 2, and Shield started as well. So Master Mandel just going for straight upgrades and then going to force back his opponent. Kinder's going to walk into a nice little engagement here. Bomber over the top going after some T1 units and takes out the radar as well, but with advanced range on board that commander, it is not going to go well here for Master Mandel, essentially walking into a nicely, not necessarily a trap, but he has to really force back the comm, and the comm will retreat in the face of all this pressure from Team 1's Kinder. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of Team 1 Mantis that are going to start bomb rushing him. And again, Master Mandel does have the advantage with the advanced range on board that commander. A lot of his shots just hitting the ground. That's never really engagement you really want to see. But it does look like the Mantis will retreat in the face of that advanced range gun commander. And still, we do see Team 1's Love Me Some Rice going to just hold this position once again. Team 2's Kaiser has fallen back. Hasn't given up just yet, of course, but still a lot of territory lost in that engagement. In the northeast, we do see a nice buildup of a ton of T1 units. Some of them assisting, or at least the engineers assisting Hanhelm with that range upgrade. He does have does have Aeon Tech, which means he can go for that advanced range, and that will help out against Legend Lore with this base so far. But he does have a PD, does have a missile launcher, and does have a couple of AA as well. So it's not going to be a easy walk through the park, but will be at least somewhat of a nice little engagement here pretty soon. Advanced range now started here for Hadhelm, and that's going up pretty quickly with that engineer assistance. Maybe would have loved to see some Mantis assisting that upgrade from Maximus. But I mean, it's flying up pretty quickly, so I don't think that's that much of an issue. We do see Maximus being forced back by Nuke Dragoon. He has now secured that Climax position that he so rightfully felt he deserved. And now we see a couple of comms going after the comm of Kinder from Team 2. So Kinder from Team 1 facing off against two comms from Team 2. That shield started once again here from Master Mendel. He probably could have finished it off and been fine, but he was playing it a little bit safe and wanted to make sure his comm didn't die, because of course if your comm dies, then you are out of the game, so I don't blame him for being a little bit more defensive. He probably could have been fine, like I said, but it's better safe than sorry. But the shield is being built pretty quickly, so he'll be able to, again, assist his teammates in forcing back both Frost Monster and Kinder on that western side. And maybe even rotate westward and either, gang up on Love Me Some Rice, or at least force him to retreat. We do see the forces engage between Maximus and Team 1's Legend Lore. Legend Lore putting a couple of more PD down on the front lines. Maximus has gun and stealth on board, going after the AA, it looks like, or maybe just anything he can get his hands on. He is at 1 star veterancy and is making his way to a second one. But there's a lot of T1 units, not necessarily more than anything else, which means there's not going to be a lot of high-valued mass units, at least at this stage in the game on this eastern side. T2 has been built and is going straight for... That's why we don't see any T2, because Legends Zora is going straight for T3, which means he'll be pumping out some Titans and Perseus in no time. Speaking of not team, but T3, I would not be surprised to see at least one player on each team having T3 air at this point, it being 13 and almost a half minutes of the game. We do see T3 online here for General Hathelm, and T3 is online here for Team 1's Zero Rue. And Frost is at T2, hasn't gone T3 yet, but is at T2 at a bare minimum. So it's better to have, halfway upgraded versus having nothing upgraded. And Maximus is now being forced back. He now has a 2nd star veterancy on board that commander. Maximus, I think he's trying to click and try to get away, but tries to reclaim as well. Nice overcharge, killing a couple more units, and some assistance from General Hathelm. He has shield, advanced range, and speed on board that commander. Same setup that Team 2's Master Mandela also has. So we have 2 Aeon Sniper commanders with the first shield upgrade. That is a huge boon to Team 2, both on the eastern flank and the western flank. Nano repair coming online here for Kinder. He doesn't really necessarily need it, but wants the additional hit point regen. I don't blame him. He's deployed some hot plates to try to force back Team 2. But Master Mandel doesn't really care. They're just going to keep going for it. Will be shot up by some rhinos. Overcharge kills off that one instantaneously in one shot. That's really got to hurt. And that missile launcher, that Viper, will be forced back. And another one of its brethren will be shot by that overcharge. ASF's flying over the top here for Team 2. Trying to secure the skies above their teammates. And a nice little engulfing of Team 1's units outbound from Team 2's Maximus. And it's just Mantis on Aurora Crime here. And Aurora, of course, known for their range, not necessarily for their tankiness. Even though they are called tanks, 155 hit points versus 270. Almost 50% more hit points, and it really does show in that engagement. Team 2's Kaiser now has evacuated, or not eviscerated, forced Frost Monster to be evicted. He evicted. That's the word I'm looking for. His opponent, and is not going to secure that Trimax position that he, of course, so rightfully thinks he deserves. But Kinder, again, he has nano and gun. He does, of course, have stealth as well. But Team 2 should be seeing him pretty soon. Yeah, they can see him, so he's not being all stealthy. And 1-2 comms are now inbound here from Team 2. Kinder goes, that's probably not a good idea. And the Kaluka class goes, yeah, you're right, you better run. And laser, says Master Mandel. Really? I don't think anybody's going to go for a laser 15 and a half minutes in. It feels a little early. Maybe 25 minutes, but not 15. That seems really early. T2 Air also online here for Team 1's Nuke Dragoon for some T2 bombers. Nope, those are gunships. I think those are gunships. I think those are Spectres. But multiple players on Team 1 have T3 land already built, and they're starting to pump out T3 units. Team 2 doesn't have anybody at T3 land. Has 2 players at T2 Air, which of course does make a huge difference in that regard. But no, Team 3 land could be in nice little engagement for Team 1 to push on the land side of things. But Team 2, again, being very reserved. They're not pushing a lot, building a lot of wall sections, so is Team 1. And I do love the fact that both players on Team 1 and 2 in the southwestern corner just like, I have my wall, and you have your wall. You stay on your side, I'll stay on my side. That's essentially what's happening in that regard. Team 2's Master Mandel forcing the issue with Kinder. Overcharge into the chassis of that commander. Takes off a decent amount of hit points. And those tickle cannons, again, still tickling their opponent, but are forcing him back nonetheless. He's trying to deploy some missile launches to deal with those tickle cannons and missile defenses, but those zappers and the shield will be able to at least throw them up, at least at a minimum. Kaiser going for shield. He is UEF. He'll be super tanky with that shield on board. And we do see a nice little movement of T2 units with Hat Helm and Maximus on this eastern edge, essentially deploying what Legend Lloyd used earlier, but in the reverse manner. But Team 1 does now have T3 land, like I mentioned earlier, Nuke Dragoon pumping out some Harbingers. And there's not really a lot that Team 2's Maximus can do about this, and it's going to be a huge win here for Team 1 if they can start taking out some T2 Mexes, whether they be fully ringed or not, and start snipping at that eco. But Master Mandel leading the charge here with forces from himself and from Colloquia Klaus. Master Mandel focusing on the comm, and the units focusing on everything else, of course. We have Rhinos versus Rhinos here in the west, and we have Aurora versus Seraphim Thams, if they existed at some point. I think it's just Frost Monster. There are some hoplites. And now we're Brick on station here for Kinder. Lots of T3 land coming out of Team 1. Team 2 really needs to start pumping out T3. We do see some Harbingers now being built by Master Mandel. And we do see T3 online here for Colloquia Klaus. But still, this facility not really doing anything in the main base. The main one is on the front lines. Reduces travel time, of course, but is in a more exposed position. Why am I the 2v1 whole game, says Maximus. I wouldn't say, I mean, kind of, but General Hat Helm is more focused on the air side of things, so I kind of see where he's coming from. There is some ASFs over the top here for Team 1's Zero Roo, and yeah, it's 2v1 in terms of the land game. Maximus doesn't really have a lot of firepower in that regard, has a couple of tanks, but that's about it. That Harbinger will get shot by either the Rhino or Maximus. I couldn't tell there. It probably was the overcharge. But he's running into a couple of Obsidians and some shields and some personal shields on board those Harbingers. So again, it's going to be very annoying for Team 2 to deal with. But they do have a Aeon Sniper Commander with shield, at least the first upgraded shield, to help defend. But a large number of units outbound from Legendary, split off from the main attack group from Nuke Dragoon, and are coming straight southward. I don't know if they're going to loop around or not. Looks like they're going to just spread out, go for as much maximum damage as they can. T1 PD trying to be built by those engineers. Gets one of them constructed, but that's not really a whole lot of firepower in terms of T2 pillars. It is going to be able to get, I think, one kill. Oh, no, maybe not. And ASFs do fly over the top here from Team 2 to kill off the ASF from Team 1. Team 1's ASF kind of just sitting there, giving a huge opportunity for Team 2 to just rake in the kills. And the forces from New Dragoon will fall back. And those from Legendary will continue pushing. They're going to get another T2 mix at a minimum. And they might get a T3 if they're able to avoid all the incoming fire here from Team 2. But they're actually going to divert more southward, go for the air grid, it looks like. That is a huge play here from Team 1's Legendary. Again, being very annoying. It's not going to do lasting damage, but it's going to be very annoying. And Kinder forcing back Team 2 on this western front with a couple of bricks. Some artillery, it looks like, in the Kinder commander himself. T2 coming online here for Love Me Some Rice. He has some artillery, I think. That's what was shooting those shots earlier on. He has his own T3 units. Has some Titans online. But those units now hooking around, going after Team 2's Master Mandel's mexes. That's got to hurt. A couple of engineers trying to build some T1 PD. That's not going to work. Team 2 needs to pump out a couple of gunships, at least at a minimum. It is going to build a couple of PD, but I think it's a little too late in that regard. Gunships need to be built, and Wacko will do so with the T3 broadsword. Very, very powerful against ground units. Definitely the most powerful in my... I don't think it's my opinion. I think that's just how it is. T2 Mex has been wounded, but is not destroyed. T3 Mex will get taken out, and oh, that's really going to hurt. That is going to hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Mexes are down here for Team 2. The ecos are about the same between the teams, Team 1 and Team 2 at 1.1k each. And at 20.5 minutes, I think it's time to go over overall situation here for the game. Team 1 and Team 2 both have all of their players remaining, though it's another game that no one dies before 20 minutes. It's kind of weird that we've had games like this for a while, except for the other game, that Settings game. That one technically doesn't count. If you watch the game, you know what I mean. I'm not going to give it away, but you'll know what I mean. Team 1 and Team 2 essentially at 50% of the map. Very similar situations with the very similar position players and where they're at and what they're doing against their opponents. But, I mean, I don't see a huge advantage between both teams. We do see, I think, a little bit more map control for Team 1. But there's not really a lot of mass points where they've gathered, so it's not a huge loss for Team 2. But it does make a difference. Every mass point, whether it's just for T1 max, you can upgrade it all by the T3, fully ring it, whatever the case may be. Something is better than nothing. Without further ado, let's go ahead and continue on with our cast in the Northeast. We see some spearheads forcing back the PD, and that is just hurts all that mass and energy going into those PD are just being eradicated by long-range missile fire. And it only takes a couple of missiles, essentially one burst, to kill off that tickle cannon. Nano repair coming online here for Maximus as well. He's at 3-star efficiency now, and working his way to a 4th. You know, Hadhelm has his first. It does look like it is a counterattack in the west here against Kaiser Wilhelm. There are some Perseus and some Titans forcing back this group of engineers and the Calm himself. 19,000 hit points in his shield and 18,000 and some change on board the main chassis. 37,000 hit points. That is a ton of hit points to chew through. Not the 50-something thousand that Seraphim commanders have, but still, you know, 37,000 is a ton. Speaking of Seraphim, Frost Monster going for advanced nano. That's going to ratchet up his regen very, very quickly and give him a ton of mass. Not mass, but HP. Comms are not worth any mass. Wow, I don't even know if that was English or not. Comms are not worth any mass if they're killed. That's actually where I was going with that. Unlike Bar, where if a comm dies, I think it's like 2,000 metal or something that gets dropped. You can either resurrect the comm or scoop it up for the metal. Some players actually control gain their comms, scoop up the metal, and ratchet up their ecos that way, which is very interesting, I might add. It's a very interesting strategy in Bar. In FAF, if you did that, you're just out of the game. So that's just how it is. It would be a very interesting mechanic if there was some sort of way of saying, like, if all of your engineers died and your comm, then you're out. So as long as you have, but I guess you would just hide an engineer somewhere and you're in the game for the rest of the match. I guess that's fair. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to balance the whole, if your comm dies, can you stay on the game kind of thing. And it does make sense lore-wise, where you're the human inside of the armored command unit. If that blows up, you're dead, so you're not in the game anyways. That lore-wise makes sense, but maybe if there's a way to, like, mitigate that, have, like, a game mode where it's... I know there's, like, total domination or something where, you know, you just have to kill everything. But I don't know if it would work in this kind of setting. So, anyway. We do see Kinder forcing back Team 2's forces in the west here against Colloquial Klaus. It is brick-on-brick action here. Cybern on Cybern climb. The Spiky Space Socialists are having some disagreement on how to spend their money. We do see Kinder again getting some nice veterans. He is already at 5 stars at 12,000 mass kill. There are some units nearby getting pinged probably by not Kaiser Wilhelm, by Colloquial Klaus being like, hey, come in and assist. The bricks are almost down. You just need to take out Kinder. And it is approaching 25 minutes, and we now see some gunships coming in to assist. ASF flying over top to guard them. And there's not really any AA in the area to assist and defending against this, which means it's going to be a lot of damage down to the comm itself. And now the ASFs, are they going to go for it from Team 1? A couple of ASFs from Frost Monster actually will get into the action a little bit. But here they come. They're going to go straight for that comm. Actually, not comm, for those gunships. There's only 3 of them, so it wouldn't be a huge issue to take out all 3 essentially in 1 or 2 passes. But all of the ASFs are down here for Team 1. Team 2 has air control. Kinder's dropping into the red, and there he goes. Gets killed off by broadswords and some harbingers, and now Team 2 will claim the first kill of the game. It goes to Master Mendel, but definitely gets a nice assist from the broadswords outbound from Team 2's air player of Wackel. But on the eastern side, a huge attack outbound from Nuke Dragoon. He had some swift ones come in and try to take out those gunships. Same vector of attack that Team 1's Legend Lord did, and he's going straight for Master Mendel's base. And you would think he would have built some defenses at this point, but no, a ton of Team 1 spam with some T3 Harbingers to lead the charge. Gunships coming in to assist. Bricks coming in from the east. More bricks being retreated off the front line. And Legend Lord actually coming in to force back that front line as well at the same time. This is essentially the main attack force while gaining some territory with a teammate. Definitely a nice 1-2 punch here from Team 1 on this eastern side. Gunships constantly raining in here for Team 2 to assist in defensive measures. Team 2's Master Mendel was going for a Galactic Colossus. The engineers are now dead, and the pigeons are the main target. Oh, there goes some engineers. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. We even see a Rascom or a SACU preset commander already on station. The Quantum Gateway is down. And, I mean, these produce, a decent amount of mass per SACU. And Frostbuster has been defeated by Master Mendel. Oh, that's got to hurt. Team 1 loses another player. Essentially, it's the same attack that killed off Kinder. And now Team 1's at 4 players left. Team 2's Master Mendel has been severely wounded. The pigeons are down. How's his energy reserves going? Actually, not as bad as it could be. It's actually better than I thought it would be, to be fair. And that attack has so far got 2 kills. Can he parlay it into a 3? There are some Harbingers just raining fire down against some Titans. Definitely not the unit that Team 1 wants to send against these. They fire very, very quickly, have their own personal shields like the Titan, but they just don't do the damage that like the Percys do. So it's just not enough. You can see the shield almost going to be depleted, and then there goes the Harbinger getting another veterancy. And Billy Nuke comes in from Team 1's Love Me Some Rice. Looks like he killed off not really a lot of mass, but it's trying to slow down Team 2's advancement on that western side. Team 1 at 4 players left. They lost 2 players in the span of a couple minutes. And there's another attack outbound from Legend Lord. The Calm of Maximus coming in to assist in defensive measures. And the Tickle Cannons are being overwhelmed by the Percys and the Pillars. But I do not think they're going to last underneath the amount of firepower that Team 2 is bringing to bear. A couple of bricks. All those bricks that retreated coming back to assist, and Hathelm coming in to bring his commander and himself as well. And it's a lot of T2 in this mix, mainly Pillars, a couple of Percys. I don't see any AA. There's actually one. Okay, I heard an explosion. Okay, it's just that. And there's a Spearhead in the mix as well. And the Pigeon's probably the main target of the T3 land headquarters. A couple of Percys in the east. I love this. Just a small group that just divert the attention again. But I do not think the Percys will get a lot of damage done. 1 T3 Mechs will get taken out. Maybe they'll get a second one. Strap Bomber outbound from somewhere. I think it was outbound from Team 1. Yep, over here in the west. Going after that last lonely little Harbinger. But look at the hole that Team 2 has carved in Team 1's front line on that western side. It's a big hole. It is a big, not oversight, but it's just an eyesore probably for Team 1. Team 1 still has some defensive measures from Love Me Some Rice, and he needs to angle that defensive line now more at a 45-degree angle versus a 90-degree angle. But 27 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. Nice. Billy Nuke takes out a chunk of those T2 forces, forcing the Pillars to engage. They'll only kill off T1 engineers and some of those T1 mexes. But Love Me Some Rice at 18,000 mass killed and will not stop pumping out those missiles until the day he dies, or in this case blows up. You do not have enough airman, says Legend Lore. Talking about the ASFs from Team 1, Zero Roo now at dual base in the back, starting to pump out some gunships as well alongside those ASFs. And now he has a nuke online. That's one of the reasons he doesn't have a lot of air. And he's actually launched a nuke. Where did that go? Was that what this was? No, that seems too small. Oh, it's right. Oh, this new. Oh, that's not great for Team 2's Whackle. That would explain the 64,000 mass kill. I will post, ominously post, I forget what the word is, but it's like you essentially backdate, which, anyway, kaboom! Takes out a ton of mexes. And stop with the, that's what threw me off. It's all the Billy Nukes blowing up. They sound very similar to nukes, of course, given the name of Billy Nuke. Just like that is a chunk out of Team 2's defenses. Yeah, the air could definitely be improved, but taking out a huge chunk of the mexes and some of the air grid here for Team 2 definitely set Team 2 back at a minimum. Mass income still favors Team 1 barely, but again, Team 1 has 4 players left. Team 2 has all 6 players left. And Legend Thor still has not lost the territory in the East. He's had that for a long while now. And he's only at 300 mass a second. He's not scaling as much as, let's say, other players. Well, again, some players on Team 1 do have dual bases, to be fair. But Billy Nuke constantly landing. It just will not stop. That guy is launching missiles like it's going out of style. Another one built up to 39,000 mass on board that thing. Jeez, that backpack is really worth it. And heavy shield coming on the way here from Master Mandel to protect himself. Again, he's going to be aggressive with that commander. And now the ASF guarding the gunships here for Team 1. There are a decent amount of ASFs been built up by Team 2. I hear a strat bomber inbound. Outbound from Team 1. Outbound from Zero going after a Mechs. I don't know if that was really worth it. There are some ASFs just flying off screen into the void. We should see that bomber come back out of the void. Maybe. Oh. No. Oh, there it is. Oh, I saw some shots. There it is. There's the bomber. It does fly back into frame at the last second. Now 1,000 mass will sit next to that Mechs over there. But the Monkey Lord has been built on the eastern side. There are some Percies. That is enough Percies to deal with that Monkey Lord, but not necessarily the Monkey Lord and the bricks. The bricks can use their brick wall formation to protect the monkey. That could be really worth it. Second nuke is outbound from Team 1. Billy Nuke constantly landing, going after Team 2's Kaiser Wilhelm. The SMD is not built. He can't get out of there. He's stuck. He's got to get out of there sooner rather than later. That nuke is inbound, and he knows it. And he's going to be able to probably get out of there. Oh, the range is going to be close. He needs to realistically get over here would be the best bet. There he goes. He's going to now turn his commander and probably go in that sort of direction. That little fire base he has on the top of that plateau. It is inbound. ASFs singeing the butts of Team 1's ASFs and the gunships as well coming in to assist. And that base is now up in smoke. Will Kaiser Wilhelm survive? Yes, he will. Without any issues. Well, yeah, without any issues. And everything he built is gone. Most of his wall is gone as well. Gunships are inbound. They probably tried to snipe out Kaiser, but it just weren't strong enough. And there's just more and more gunships being played and built around here for Team 2 and 1. Absol was on the front line dealing with the shields that have been built up here by Team 2. But now it's just a mix of bricks and some harbingers here with a nice little laser from that fat boy that will definitely incinerate everything in its path. We even see some restorers, some broadswords mixed in here. Nice little spy planes coming over the top here. Those broadswords getting pretty beefy here. Those numbers are growing pretty steadily. We see 2 crabs on the western side against 1 fat boy and a bunch of T3. That is not going to go well here for Team 2's army. There is 1 crab coming to assist, but it's not going to be great. The the Monkey Lord is going to engage. If it can get behind the crab, this could be huge here for Team 2, taking out a huge amount of mass just from not a rinky-nicky little Monkey Lord, but it is the cheapest experimental in the game versus, I think, one of the most expensive. Does have the most hit points, to be fair. But the crab from Team 1 isn't really focusing the Monkey Lord from Team 2. The Monkey Lord gets a ton of damage with the broadswords. That is a kill. And will the crash damage kill the... Oh, the crash damage kills the Monkey Lord. Billy Nuke comes in, tries to take out some of those units outbound for that second megalith. And those ASFs doing a very good job of protecting their gunship investment. And just the firepower coming down from the heavens. There are some Cougars built up here over here, but there's a couple of Harbingers coming in to deal with those very, very quickly. There's even some Skyboxers for some flak, but that crab is not gonna really make it. There is a crab coming out from Team 2, as we saw. And how much damage will this crab cause? Take out a decent squad of units here. Villanuke's constantly landing here for Team 1's Love Me Some Rice. 75,000 mass now killed for that comm. Nuke to the west killed off 110,000 mass. Villanuke landing once again. ASF fight again over the top here of Team 2's forces. All that mass from those ASF going to fly into Team 2's pockets. That is, again, another thing to keep in mind. Where you have the ASF battle means a lot. Whether that's your opponent has a bunch of AA coverage, whether that's you have, 500 ASFs shooting at one another and more than half of them die in the engagement, and it's on top of your enemy's position. That's just a bunch of mass for you to scoop up, that sort of thing. You just got to watch out for where the fight takes place because it can make all the difference. Where you see an Aeon Rambo preset commander facing up against some bricks, and that brick is not gonna die. I mean, it's probably gonna die, but it's really ripping into the... Oh, the preset! It only has, like, not a lot of hit points left. What are you doing? I know you're trying to get out of range or something, most likely, but... Oh, no, they got it. Okay, I was gonna say. Drop bombers are inbound somewhere, coming out from Team 1's Love Me Some Rice, I think is what... Oh, that is the wrong button. Hold on. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Mass currently still on the field, 137,000. And a lot of that consists on the southwestern side with a couple of 1,000 or so over here in the east. Looks like that is a ton of bricks that have been killed off by Team 1. And the Perseus have now emerged, but there is a giant donut in the sky here for Team 2. It's owned by the comm of General Hathelm. Has some ASFs to protect it. We have some gunships over here being very naughty and going after a couple of T3 mexes. One of them does get killed off. All his ASFs retreat. They're like, hey, wait a second. You're not supposed to be back there. Blinkerloid is online. It will be just eviscerated by the Perseus, but it'll give a lot of time for that laser to do its work. Maybe the Perseus won't even get to that Blinkerloid. The bricks walking in front of their Blinkerloid brethren do assist. A couple of ASFs definitely not going to be enough to take out that shield on board, the hit points on board that Tsar. But the shield is down, and the hit points are slowly falling. There's a lot of AA that was mixed in there, as you can see, but it's pretty much fine now. Still in the green, so it should be not a huge issue. Crab gets killed off once again. Billy Nuke once again outbound. The comm of Love Me Some Rice has retreated first. Colossus is dead. There goes. Takes out a ton of that T3 support. Gunships coming in, but there's still 2 Colossi to deal with, and there's a lot of support coming down here from Team 1. Love Me Some Rice to assist in the defensive measures of his front line. Team 2 still pressing on this upper plateau hill section thingamajiggy. And if Team 1 doesn't get some sort of game ender or end-game strategy on the cards, it might not be great for Team 2, considering, you know, the mass is really favoring Team 2 as the current moment. 2.32 million versus 2.28 million. I know Team 1 is producing a little bit more mass, but Team 2 is killing a ton of mass on Team 2's side of the map. Colossus raining in, just taking out anything and everything in its path, going after SACUs. These are Rambos. They don't produce a lot of mass per second, but one is definitely better than none. And Crab still forcing back the crab surf from Team 1. That's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 plus 1,000 mass that's being just thrown to deal with these incoming threat from Team 2. Nuke lands, taking out mechs, 2 mexes. A decent amount of support for the land facilities, and some of the engineers have been EMP'd, but they're not dead, which is obviously better than being dead. So there's now a satellite online here for Legend Boy. He is UEF. That would make sense. He would go into that direction. The Nuke has now killed off 138,000 mass. I think that's the fourth Nuke I think I've seen. But the comm of, where is he? Love Me Some Rice has killed off 140,000. Oh, 140,000 mass, which of course is more than the Nuke. And I think the Billy Nuke is cheaper. I would assume so, because it's, well, it doesn't do as much damage, so probably. Colossus is down. The thing that Team 2, of course, has to be aware of is the more they push into Team 1's territory, the more mass they're leaving on Team 2's doorstep, Team 1's doorstep. However, as you can see, the battle lines are slowly being forced back once again for Team 1. So as Team 2 pushes forward, you can see all the engineers scooping up the mass. You can see a couple of operations are going to be built for some Team 1 land facilities to pump out said engineers. Colossus being bombarded by either some artillery, some PD, some bombers. That's a ton of bombers. It gets pinged by Team 2. It says, hey, you got some strap bomber problems. Colossus trying to get in some economic damage. Oh, that's a lot of Zooey. That's a lot of Zooey spam. And it will lock onto that crab and will kill it off. And in the west, we see a couple of Perseus trying to have a nice little cheeky attack vector, but that's not going to go very well. The Continental goes down. 159,000 mass killed off by that one comm. Team 1, that is a beast of a comm right now, just pumping out Billy Nukes. Team 2, do you have a strategy to end the game? Duke just started. I just had to speak it, and it shall appear. But an emissary is currently online, and in my opinion, it is the best T3 artillery in the game because it has that initial hit and then the kind of AoE splash that it does. Second later, kind of like a pulse. Second emissary coming online. Team 1, of course, will notice that due to the laser over top. And I hear Billy Nuke still going off. ASF fight in the west. Now it looks like Team 1 is definitely in the driver's seat for the ASF war. Artie says Frost Monster. Yep, they have noticed it. And of course, Team 2, of course, is building Nuke. Wow, that was really quick. Just a second ago, it was just started. Team 2's Kaiser Wilhelm, the first of his name, is pumping out mass to fuel that Duke. That'll be huge here for Team 2 if they can keep it online. And will that strap bomber be taken out? No. It will. Oh, yep, it won't. Never mind. Crab in the east, assisted by a Monkey Lord, but feeling a lot of pain from the skies, from those strap bombers. Team 2 needs to get their butts in gear and deal with those. And the donut is still alive. 1-star veterancy. ASFs. Oh, it's not a great engagement for those ASFs. Oh, it's not good. Ooh. I thought Team 1 had the numbers, but after this, Team 1 definitely does not have the numbers. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Looks like some Percys are being delivered to the front line to assist their teammate. Zeus coming online, but we see a nice line of SACU Rambo preset commanders pummeling that front line as well. Decent amount of strap bombers down here hanging out. They could kill off Kaiser. He's right here. And AA has been built. Strap bomber is inbound. Takes out mass storage. And the massive amounts of bombers to kill off one Mechs. Definitely overkill there. And the AA is just going to pummel and punish those strap bombers for coming into Team 2's territory. There they go. What are they going after now? They're circling about, going after probably another Mechs. But I don't know. They're going to go for AA, it looks like. But I don't really think that's worth it. Goes off some storage, but again, don't really think that was worth the value of a strap bomber. More of them proliferating around the map here for Team 1. They're just throwing them constantly at their opponent. Second satellite is online, and third one is going to be started here pretty soon. Artillery now started here for Nuke Dragoon. The Nuke is loaded once again, 142,000 mass, and the artillery focused on Zero Root. Even, I don't know if it's his commander or just the air headquarters, whatever the case may be, but he's in the attack vector. Missile outbound once again from Lumby Some Rice. 161,000 mass Nuke, regular one, it has been launched. Gets launched at the last second before that Nuke launcher gets destroyed. Why we have no air, says Maximus. What are you talking about? You do have air. It's all back here. Not up on the front lines. Dual Colossus. There goes that Billy Nuke. Kills off more of those units. Let's see. What's the comm at now? 169. Where's the Nuke? Nuke is over the top. I don't know if it's going to stop or if it's going to go straight for the base for Team 2's Kaiser. But oh, no, it's going to drop right here. Actually, that's a pretty good drop. Kills off most of the hit points here for that Galactic Colossus on the right, on the left side, and a decent amount of mass points here. And all of the support will open a path for that Megalith to push forward. But again, Team 2 has to be very careful. They can either just let this attack keep going, or they can force it back. The ASF's going to sit and protect the dual crabs, but I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. There's a lot of support from some Rambos, but I just don't know. I really don't know if that's going to be enough to break that front line. 169. What's the mat? Oh, I can't tell because it's dead. But the artillery is still raiding in on that air grid. Team 1 is going to lose their Cybran air grid. And again, all of the players on Team 2 still alive at 40 minutes. Team 2 has not faced had suffered a casualty as of yet, and now at 40 minutes and 35 seconds, the eastern side here for Team 1's Legendary has collapsed. Strap bombers constantly raining in and resupplying and sitting in over there to go after those crabs. But I do love the fact that, of course, Bricks very well suited to take out those Zuri. They shoot very, very quickly, unlike their Percy UEF compatriots. And you can see the laser just chewing through anything and everything. But turning around when there's a crab shooting at you, probably not the best idea. Colossus hiding underneath shield coverage while T2 artillery is being built. And down in the south, Maximus is defeated by Legend Lore. due to the satellites that were just lasering his face. It is now the first casualty of the game, 41 minutes and 10 seconds in the game. I feel like I kind of maybe jinxed Team 2 there by pointing out they still haven't lost a player. But there it is. There's the first kill on Team 2 side of the map. Sorry, on Team 1 side of the map against Team 2. The Team 2 faces the first casualty. It's not going to be a flawless victory here for them. And AA being spammed up here to deal with that. Czar. And there is some ASFs flying over the top to protect something. Don't know what they're going after. That gunship will be taken out very, very quickly. The broadswords are moving in to assist, as well as the Colossus on the ground. Bricks are the main battle unit here for Team 1, and they produce a lot of damage, and they shoot it very, very quickly. And laser over the top singes a couple of those Perseus. Going to target the second megalith here on the western side, the one that's weaker. Actually, will it just retreat? It might just retreat due to the AA. And it will crash land. Will it crash land on Team 2 side of that plateau? No. But it's pretty close to Team 2. Megalith is pretty weak down in the red. And the AA just being spammed up for defensive measure. Kaiser says Maximus. Don't know what that's in reference to. But artillery still raining in outbound from Team 2's player. Let's see, who had that? Was it you? Oh, it's you out from Collective Response. But I feel like that was a different one. And it was second artillery online here for Hat Helm. And Zero Root control Ks, but doesn't really control K. It's probably due to a explosion from some P-gens. Team 1 now at 3 players left at 42 minutes in this game. And we have 1 Duke, 1 artillery, 2 T3 emissary artillery. Kaiser says Maximus again. Don't know what he's talking. What is he talking about? I don't know if he's talking about where his artillery is pinned. I don't know. But the artillery now being focused on this position. Oh, Legend Lore in the yellow. GG says Legend Lore. He just finished another satellite. That his stations are down. At least some of them are down. That's going to hurt. All that mass is just going up in smoke. Got bombers over the top here for Legend Lord, trying to stay. Actually, that's from Love Me Some Rice. Trying to stave off this incoming threat of the crab. The crab probably will be fine. But that base is just ripped to shreds here. Blue, look at the megas, says Maximus. Look at the megas. Oh, talking about the fact that those strap bombers are constantly raining in. Megalith is in the yellows, and those ASF are inbound. But a lot of damage could have been mitigated. Some ASFs try to stop them, but they just get wiped out. And it does look like another satellite has been built. It's right over here now, actually by Team 2. That is a lot of crab meat there, and a lot of SACUs coming for the defensive measures. Why deploy mobile AA when SACUs can build it? Why deploy mobile anti-air units when you can just have mobile T3 SACUs? Just build your own stationary T3, and it's, quote, mobile. I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Especially with 4 crabs protecting them. That crab is wounded, to be fair. But artillery will not stop raiding in those satellites. There's 1 left. The shield is now down. 1 more shot, and that is dead in the water. Team 1, I mean, this is their main battle line. 5th crab coming online. This one very wounded, 126,000 mass killed on board that 1 crab, and another one coming in to join us, brethren. Scath is started here by Love Me Some Rice. He's at 172,000 mass killed on board his commander, mostly due to the Billy Nuke, of course. And in the east, those look like it's a couple of T3 units. There's a mobile artillery in the mix. That's not where you put those. They can fire on the move, but wouldn't bring them to the front line. And how's that P-gen? Nope, it's second takes out a mass storage, but that's it. The SACUs are the actual primary target. Not even going after the Colossus, going after the SACUs. That's how dangerous those SACUs are. Where you have a Colossus nearby and going, nah, it's fine. And the crab for defensive measures is down. The emissary fire from Team 2's artillery from the colloquial class targeting the crabs directly, and they've grouped up really nicely. That crab is down, and that artillery is raining in. point defense, close range artillery fire, essentially. Let's see, get a nice little shot of that. Nice little T3 artillery with the crabs incoming. Lots of damage, lots of everywhere. Those fat boys constantly retreating now underneath that shield coverage. Oh, that was also the wrong button. Nope. How did I do that? I don't know how I did that, but anyway. There goes that emissary fire. This is the range at which the emissary can fire. So once the crabs pass that yellow line, it can no longer fire, but it was able to target at least something down there or up there. But the amount of broadsword fire raining in will stop the crabs from getting super close, but they did kill off one of the fat boys. The artillery is definitely the thing that they want to keep intact. Emissary over here, crab coming in to assist as well. And I think the only hope for Team 1 to really go after much of anything else are the bricks. There are Ravagers being built up by the SACUs from Team 2's Kaiser. ASF coming in will take out the rest of those gunships, but the ASFs from Team 2 will come in and take out the rest of those ASF. Lasers now being spammed up here by Team 2's air player of Wackle, those Novaxes. Continental gets crash landing over there to the west, and the ASF's now flying over a lot of AA. Definitely not where that ASF horde should be. And looks like there's going to be some cascading pretty soon against these Rambos. Again, they have tons of hit points, 42,000 to be exact, between the shield and the hull integrity, hit points, armor, whatever the heck it's called. Just seeing if there's anything else juicy here pretty quickly. Emissary still coming online very slowly, though. Has that Scanthus. It's in the yellow. Crabs need to buy enough time for Team 1 to get that T4 experimental artillery mobile online. The Duke is receiving some fire. Will it be enough? One more shot might do it. Actually, excuse me, 2 more shots. There goes the crab. Has taken out the T3 artillery from Kaiser. Should have actually gone after the P-gens, to be fair. That's what I would have gone after. But that Megalith is receiving a ton of fire from those SACU Rambo preset commanders. Crab is down. The gunships come back. The ASFs will fly. They need to fly in and protect the gunships. The ASFs will kill off most of them. But now it's just one crab and a bunch of SACU spam. We do see a Colossus coming in to assist as well. And that artillery still raining in here from both Team 2's players of Hathelm and Klaus. One of them is Aeon, one of them is not. Both have emissaries online. We even see some Novak centers coming online here for Team 2's Wacko as well. And this is essentially just Love Me Some Rice's last, not essentially last ditch effort, but there's a ton of mass on this side. Look at all the red numbers. Look at this. Look at all those red numbers. I can't even read them. 727,000 mass was on screen for a second. We're close to 750,000 mass. Will we see it in this game? Will we see 1 million mass? Will we see that number tick over to 1? Just like my subscribers ticking over to 1,000. Will we see that ticking over to 1 million mass on the field? And between the SACUs, the crabs, and everything else being built, we might just see it. There's no one reclaim. No one reclaim for like 5 minutes, and we'll probably see it. There's the horde of units just coming down here from Love Me Some Rice. But again, it's starting to peter out. After this crab and a couple of SACUs, that's essentially the bulk of that mass. Some Percy's, another crab. There's not really a lot, like big grump and big groups of mass that's just being thrown. Nuke D going. What? Nuke D going? Where this is where the nuke is going? Maybe that's what he meant. Looks like there was a couple of AA over here, but didn't really get much of anything out of that. And Team 2's player of Master Mandel still in his main base, hanging out, just enjoying the view. Defense satellites actually being used for their namesake and defending Team 2's front line. Colossus goes down, and broadswords are just the main stage ticket for Team 2's air player. Just that's all they're doing, just gunships. If they were restorers, that'd be more dangerous against AA, but definitely for the broadswords, or for the UEF, broadswords are where it's at. Another SACU is down. They're spamming up T3AA, but they can't build it fast enough to deal with the T3 gunships. At this point, just build flak. You build it a lot faster. But, there goes another Rambo. And that's not looking good here for Team 1. There's Mobile coming in to assist as well. And now those units are invading the base of Master Mandel. His comm opening fire against those Perseus. He's just going to sit under shield coverage and call it a day. Shield coverage is starting to fail, though, and the shields should be targeted at least to some degree, but most of those units are now going to be dealt with here. A few more crabs are inbound here from Team 1. How is that Billy Nuke comm going? Where is that shot going? Are you targeting the comm direct? Where? No, it just went off screen. That's where that shot went. But I think Love Me Some Rice was being targeted directly at some point. That crab is down, and now you can see the units just issue the retreat order. They're going to regroup once again. But at this point, I don't think it's going to go very well, because you're just going to box yourselves literally into a kill box. You have multiple artillery being built. You have multiple Fat Boys being built. You have literal T3 artillery in range. Actually, you're out of range of the inner... how do I phrase this? You're out of range of the innermost circle that the artillery cannot hit, but you're now in range to be able to be targeted by it. I think that made sense. ASF, huge horde for Team 1. Will they use it? Will they not? 146 versus probably about the same. Nope, never mind. It just looks smaller. 256 ASF plus the additional maybe 50 to 100 or so. Nope, that's the wrong thing. 88. Oh, it was pretty close. They're kind of in the middle there. But essentially 350 versus 100 and some. That's not a lot. Counterattack here in the east by Team 2's Master Mandel. 2 crabs, a bunch of bricks, and a Colossus. Shields now, says Frost Monster. Probably not going to get anywhere with that. T3 shields are being built. Probably should just build T2 at this point. Again, build them faster. You just need to protect yourself. Artillery rain in. Ooh, took out those mass fabs right there. But he's fine for now. Shield will come back online, but now the artillery will have a nice juicy target to go after. Speaking of which, it'll impact the shields. There goes the shield strength for that one. Second shield is being built. The defense satellites need to be macroed a lot better. Oh, I mean, they were going for different targets, but the shields are now down. Second shielding needs to be built. If the emitters go down, that's it. They get back online. The second shield will pop online pretty soon. Maybe the artillery will be retasked, but Team 1 now attacking solely southward. But now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Fat Boys online, plus a bunch of Ravagers. More Fat Boys coming online. 51 minutes and 0.3 seconds on the clock here. Large amount of units just grouping up here on this little upper plateau section. 677,000 mass. It's going down, unfortunately. It's not going up because players are reclaiming, but which is a good thing. But I just wanted to see that million mass number on screen. But the Calm of Love Me Some Rice has left the shield enclosure and will probably die because of it. Well, he goes, no, that was probably not the best idea. So I'm just going to go back inside and, you know, underneath some nice air conditioning and get out of the heat. But 6,000 hit points left in the red with 5,000 hit points. Will he make it? I think he will. But with 2,000 hit points remaining, that's not a lot. Emissary needs to just target it a couple times and call it a day. Keep building shields, says Legend Lore. I mean, that's all you got to do in that scenario. Yeah. Had a cough there for a second. Kind of got lodged in my throat too. I hate it when, like, you know, you have some soda or, you know, very bubbly substance and it gets up there. But there goes the calm due to no, I think Love Me Some Rice just control K'd it himself. There wasn't any pigeons next to him, any that sort of thing. He just control K'd is like, you know, I'm just done with it. I'm not gonna worry about it. Those emissaries probably would have killed him right there. But they were like on top of one another with those shots. Team 1 at 2 players left. Team 2 at 5 players left. I feel like we kind of can see the direction of this game. Massive T3 Ravager spam here in the east by some engineers. And that's actually a very interesting tactic. Just build a couple of PD and call it a day. They're just wreaking havoc to Team 2's eastern line, but there's going to be a crab, and that'll deal with it very, very quickly. I don't think this is going to go very well. The last bastion of hope here for Team 1 in the north. Artillery still being built by Noob Dragoon. And now Scathis here. Oh, where did that one? Maybe that one was killed off earlier on. But Scathis is half done here for Team 1. But but it's now been paused. Looks like that was probably being built by Love Me Some Rice. And then we have satellites over the top of Team 1's last remaining 2 commanders. PD has been built to prevent any sort of telemaser nonsense. And shields are raining in. Legendary is now exposed. He needs to move. He needs to get underneath the shielding that Noob Dragoon has, but maybe Legendary is just going to accept his fate. Billy Nukes and stuff blowing up down there. Not actually Billy Nukes, those are just SACUs being blown up. Legendary now moves. Artillery going to rain in, take out more shielding here for Team 1. There goes all that shielding, and some pigeons are now exposed. Ooh, that's not gonna want. You're walking right. What are you doing? You're walking into a. Oh, all of those emitters are down. Great micro here by Team 2's Wacko. Great micro. Shields are gonna fall around that and actually take out the emitter as well. Pigeon will blow up, and I don't think it'll actually. Oh, maybe it does singe Legendary a little bit, but a couple more quantum reactors are online. He's gonna now fly the coop. Okay, I need to pee. Chew, says Legendlore. Artillery will rain in, and the satellites will kill him off here pretty shortly. Let's see. 900 and some odd hit points. One more burst. That'll be it for Team 1's Legendlore. He put up a very good fight in the east, had a nuke online, and just launches it before his death. Where is this going? Oh, that's going there, and the Fat Boys are moving, and that's not going to go very well. Team 1's Noob Dragoon is the last remaining player on his team, and he just control Ks and calls it a day. But I wanted to see the Nuke explosion. Oh. That's okay. It was a great game nonetheless. Team 2 wins the game with 1 player killed off, and I think that was Maximus that was killed off. But in terms of MVPs, MUPs, I feel like... Ooh, let's see. I think Wackel did a very, very good job with that air micro. He had those gunships on point. He was able to assist with killing off 1 player, and then that ended up leading to another player, not necessarily by him, but ended up getting essentially 2 players with that assist. We do see, of course, the lasers going after a couple of comms near the end as well, and those gunships constantly going after the T4 experimentals from Team 1. And just to put into perspective, there are 7 Fat Boys, 3 Colossi, and a very damaged Megalith right here. That is a ton of mass, and Team 2 still didn't even reclaim, or even Team 1 reclaimed that donut. So a lot of mass spent on both sides of the map. Over 10 million mass accrued by both teams. But I feel like Wackel definitely deserves the MVP award. He wasn't the biggest and the brightest, but he was consistent and on point with both his lasers and his gunship. So I think he deserves the MVP award. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about the game. Please subscribe to the channel. Please, of course, share this video with everyone, and your pets. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.